Today I want to share with you something. Hi, Cookie. Yes, I'm making a video. Sorry about that. I want to share with you something that I've recently cracked about myself that brought so much liberation. And it's something about the whole concept of being yourself. For so many years, I've struggled with this idea. And this is, again, I want to remind you my journey, my process. And I am sharing this in hopes of connecting with the people who also feel in the same way. So if you cannot relate to this, it's okay. But if you resonate this in any way, please let me know in the comment or just by liking this video. For a long time, I believed that being yourself means, being loud, being messy, like say whatever you want, don't care about what other people feel, or just being like a rebel, kind of. Even now, some people show the mess in their lives as part of being themselves. And maybe for them it's true, because I believe that is how you should be if you're being yourself. For a long time, I judged myself for being a perfectionist because I have always loved having things in order. I like to have nice clothes, I like to look put together. Even if I didn't do for other people, I often get comments like, why you take yourself so seriously? Just be yourself, like wear whatever. And I was like, okay, but this is me being myself, and what is wrong with this? Like, does it mean like if being yourself means like you shouldn't wear nice things, you should always look messy, you shouldn't try to look nice, and if you do, then people would say that you're trying too hard? And so it really confused me. And there has been a period in my life where I thought that I'm just a perfectionist and I should just chill, and that I should be speaking my mind whenever I want, without filtering anything. And then there was this part of me that always felt so uneasy about it, because I have a very strong conscience. I never intentionally go around and want to be rude to other people. But I just didn't like the idea of being too loud and being messy. But then somehow people around me judged me for being too clean, being too uptight. So according to them, me being myself is just wrong. So for them, being myself is wrong, but then I have to try to be myself. So it was extremely confusing. And then the best thing happened to me. I got older. Now I'm almost 38. And I love getting older, because one of the best things about getting older is that you finally realize that you are an adult. No one can tell you how to live your life. And you decide who you are. And only a year ago, I started to step into this part of me. And this part of me that loves having tidy place. I mean, I can show you my apartment. Okay. This is how it looks, even the days I don't do much cleaning. This is my authentic life. This is me being me. The reason for this is that have a system that everything has a place. The only thing I need to do every day is just vacuum clean, because I am a bit allergic to the dust, and I have 2 cats, and to the cat hair, like I don't like that it's everywhere, so I vacuum clean every day. That is the only tidying up that I do. Other than that, I don't really have a messy space. My wardrobe is tidy. I don't overbuy anything, especially like in the past few years I've embraced minimalism, so I only have the things that I do actually wear. Like everything is there, so I know exactly what I have, and that I wear the things that I have. I've embraced the fact that I'm just this person. This is me being me. And that when people said that, oh, you're too sensitive, just be yourself, don't take it so seriously. I mean, I cannot turn it off. I am a highly sensitive person. I don't like being in loud places, crowded places. I'm an introvert. I embrace that. And the thing is that when I'm outside, I used to pressure myself so much about paying attention to everything. And then I would beat myself up saying that, why can't I just focus on myself? Why do I pay attention to everyone and everything that's happening around me? What is wrong with me? And then even when I share this with some other people, the advice I get would be like, oh, just be yourself, just chill. And later I understood that that's not how I function. I do pay attention to everything. But it doesn't mean that I care about what other people think of me. It's just that I pay attention what's happening around me. And therefore, I've actually prevented several, bad things from happening because I paid attention what was happening around me. So there are benefits of being a sensitive person. And because of my sensitivity, I'm a good mom. That I listen to my child. I care about how she's feeling. I care about things, but not to the expense of my own emotional well-being anymore. But I no longer hide the fact that I'm highly sensitive. So I also let this known to my friends, even when we're sitting in the cafe once, like I was like looking around, but then I'm also like I pay attention, of course, like I listen to the other person, what they're saying, but I'm also like paying attention to everything that's happening around me. And once I embraced this without constantly judging myself, it actually didn't feel like an exhausting thing anymore, because I was like, this is me being me. This is who I am. This is how I function. And so there's nothing wrong with that. And so I started to see that being yourself doesn't mean to be loud or messy or don't care about how other people feel about your actions. For me, being myself is actually stepping more into that better version of myself, the sensitive version of me, the one that cares to create better environment for myself without feeling like I'm being perfectionist. Instead, just embrace that part of me, saying like, this is how I love to live. If I want to look put together, then this is how I want to live. This is how I want to take care of my look. I'm not doing this for anyone, but this is me. This is me being myself. And if I want to speak kindly to other people, it's not because I'm trying to be a suck up. It's because, again, that is me. Because I don't want to be rude or like unkind to people with no reason. And I'm not loud at all, like in public or like even outside. Like when I speak, people always say like, can you speak up? I cannot hear you. It's like, was like, I used to think like, am I shy or what's happening? And then later I understood that this is how I have always been. I've always been a soft speaker. So, and the older I get, the more I understood that being yourself is more about getting in touch with your intuition. Stop asking advice from other people. That is the number one thing that helped me to become more of who I am. Stop asking people, am I doing this right? Because the whole reason for me to become a self-judging person, calling myself perfectionist, calling myself obsessive, calling myself sensitive in a negative way, was all because I asked way too much advice from other people, or I asked their opinion about how am I doing, and then their feedback kind of ruled my opinion of myself. I allowed them to tell me how to live my life. But then the older I get, I start to see that nobody knows what's good for me. They don't even know what's good for them. And they're not in a position to give me advice. And I started to listen more to myself. And that is when I was able to embrace myself. And if I want to keep my space clean, that is me being myself. I don't need anybody's advice. I don't need anybody telling me, oh, you're so uptight, like you don't have to do this anymore, leave your dishes in the sink, for days, and you don't have to do it. It's like, if that's what you want to do, go ahead and do it, but that's not who I am. And if I want to keep my sink clean and my kitchen tidy, that is me being me. Why do I have to judge myself as being a perfectionist for being clean and tidy? So I stopped listening to other people's advice at all, starting from small things. And then when I started making bigger and bigger decisions, I just listened to my intuition. And when this time, last year when I was deciding to going back to the university, I didn't ask for anybody's advice. I just told them this is what I want to do. And no one stood on my way because they could feel from my energy that I'm a grown-up adult person. I didn't come to ask for their advice, but I came to say that this is the direction that I want to go. What kind of help can I get to fulfill this goal? And I was taken seriously, and I have gotten the financial help to start a new education. So being yourself shouldn't be a reason for us to stay same. I feel like being ourselves is about stepping into a better version of ourselves, like embracing ourselves more. I used to think that being me means that I shouldn't improve myself, if you know what I mean. But now I can see that being myself, stepping more into the better version of myself, actually improved me and my life in so many ways. So being me doesn't mean that I'm staying the same, but being me means that every time when I feel like doing something from my heart, that I get this motivation to improve my life, that I get this inspiration to try something out, I step into that. That is me being me, because being me doesn't mean for me to stay the same all the time. And another thing Is being me also mean to give myself the freedom to change my mind at any time about anything? I used to think that changing my mind would make me look indecisive. But then later I understood that, but if I change my mind about something, that's actually also coming from something that I've learned in life, from experience. That's actually a sign that I've grown. So I no longer think the way I used to think. So I should give myself the freedom to change my mind about everything. If I said something 1 year ago and then this year I suddenly feel like, you know what, I no longer think in that way, that's actually a sign of growth, because I had a life experience in this 1 year that changed my mind about certain things. And that is also me being me by changing my mind. So yeah, I felt like this should be out because a lot of people struggle with the idea of being themselves and think like it is such a complicated thing. But once I understood it in this way, stepping actually more into myself and letting go of the self-judgment, and that being soft, being kind is also being yourself. It's not a weakness. Being clean and tidy, allowing growth to happen is also being yourself. Allowing yourself to change your mind is also being yourself, So, yeah. Thank you for listening to me today. And like I said, let me know if this resonates with you in any way. And thank you for all the new subscribers. And like I said, I always read your comments, even though I don't reply to all of them because I have very limited energy. But I love reading your comments. Please comment, please engage, and let's grow this community. Yeah. Thank you for being here. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.